the beginning stages of YouTube Live, and we're working on it. And so what I said last night was that today is the new moon in Israel, and it is a new month, and that it is 2520 from the it's not Tishri, so Feast of Trumpets is past. But I gave a whole discord about that. I explained to the folks a little bit about the barley harvest and why you cannot trust the calendar, the Jewish calendar, and that if October 7th, 2030 is right, then the 2520 mark is today, and 6 p.m. in Israel would have been 10 a.m. here in Kentucky Central Time, 11 a.m. in Eastern Time, and of course daylight savings time. Who knows what the time it really is? Because daylight savings time, when they mess with the clock, I don't know if we're on real time or fake time right now. So, all right, but he didn't come. Okay, obviously, right? The rapture did not happen. The trumpet did not sound. The groom did not come to get his bride today. And so the question is this: is the window now closed for 2023? Should we not be looking or expecting or anticipating the rapture? Of course we should. That's ridiculous. Of course we should be anticipating the rapture and looking for it. Let's go over here and refresh this and get this saved over here before I get too carried away, or get it sent to the other page. Is that it right there? I believe that is it. Let's get that shared on the other page. There we go. Got it. Okay, now, so since he didn't come today, you say, brother, is that it, Brother Goodwin? Is that the last? Have we got to wait another year? Well, it's possible we got another year. It's possible we got more than another year. Well, we don't know. We're looking at what we know. We're looking at signs. We're looking at Israel. We're looking at the clocks, the calendars, trying to figure out as best we can. And but we don't know. We do not know where we are on God's calendar. It's just impossible to be sure of anything. Did Jesus die in 38 AD? We don't know. It's possible he did. So we're looking at those kind of things. What we do know is we're in the final days. We're in the final moments of the church age, and the Lord's coming soon. And we need to be watching. And we need to be anticipating, we need to be ready, we need to be prepared, and we need to get our loved ones in the boat, or in the door, in the camp, and get them saved. And but the question again that I asked in the title here is the window closed for the rapture in 2023? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I tell people this, and I said this last night. I said, live like he could come today, but prepare to be an old man or an old lady. That's good advice. Never, never, never do stupid stuff. Never sell your stock, your retirement, spend all your money sending Bibles to some other country because you think the rapture's coming in 30 days. Never, never, never do stupid stuff like that. And I say that all the time, because you can't be dogmatic ever about this stuff. In one of my books, I don't remember which one, I think it's the 7 Clocks book, I have a statement that I made in there, and I put it on a blank page, and the statement goes something like this: everyone who has set a date for the rapture in the last 2,000 years has been wrong. Now you say, Brother Good, did you set a date for the rapture yesterday? I certainly did not. I certainly did not. And by the way, this morning I was working here in my office. I looked at my clock and I said, boy, another hour, maybe there. And I went back to work. I didn't go out and sit on the porch. I didn't go out and I didn't hang around waiting for the trumpet to sound. I lived like I had several more years to go, and that's how you ought to be. Okay, are we ever going to figure this out and get it right? It's possible. God has given us a lot of information about his coming, and he was upset with Israel for missing his first coming and not being aware that they were in that season. He was very upset with them. I do not want him upset with you and I as we await the coming of the Lord. And I want the Lord to find us watching, find us waiting, find us expecting. And Joy says, I have to admit, I went outside and was watching the eastern sky. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. I remember looking at, and it was 9:59 Central Time, one more minute. I remember looking and seeing that the clock said, hey, we're 1 minute off. And what would it be like? Have you ever stopped to think, what will it be like at the rapture? I mean, I don't think we can imagine it. All of a sudden, you're in the clouds with the Lord and with the saints, and your mind can't fathom that, can it? And going to heaven, going to be with the Lord at the rapture. Whew, what a time. That's a time that all the saints of the past hoped and wished that they could be a part of. We got a good crowd over there on Facebook Live, but we got you beat over here on YouTube. By the way, the camera's better over here, my iPhone over here on YouTube. YouTube Live has has around 40 people watching. We got 15, I think, over on Facebook, and I look better over here. And by the way, the YouTubes will stay there for forever, where Facebook Live gets lost down there, and people will never see it after a few days. So the Lord's coming. He's given us a lot of information to help us understand where we are on God's prophetic timeline. Now, does that mean we can narrow this down? It's possible. If this was the year for the rapture, I still believe that today would have been the perfect day. With all the information, all the pieces of the puzzle that I have, this was the perfect day for it. Now, could it still be coming? Sure, it could. Could it be the 2-day window for the new moon? It's possible. I'm not sure I buy into that, but I don't want to get into that right now and give you my reasoning for that. It'd take too long. But it's possible. It's possible that there's a 2-day window for the Feast of Trumpets, and that tomorrow, the same time, could be the real day. I don't know. It's possible. Anything's possible. All right. Stephen Erickson says, I think your Yom Kippur is possibly backed up a month in 2030, so it's still a high watch till mid-December. That's possible, Stephen. I'd like to hear your reasoning for that. Why Yom Kippur would be different. And by the way, that is one of the problems here. What if after the rapture the calendar gets changed with the Jews, and they change those holy days, and Yom Kippur changes in 2030? See, there's so many variables here. That's why you don't sell your life insurance policy. There's too many variables. There's too many things that we might be off on, that you just cannot know without being in God's heavenly throne up there, looking down with absolute knowledge about the beginning from the end. We look through a glass darkly. We don't get it all. We've got a lot, and we've got more than any generation has ever understood. But that's why I say, and I said it yesterday, I was not saying the rapture was today. I was saying it's my number one choice. If it was my number one pick for the rapture, if the rapture's this year, and it didn't happen. either I got the wrong date or or it's not this year, right? One of the two. And all right, by the way, we've got 62 over here now on YouTube Live. We've got just 13. We lost a couple over there on Facebook Live. I have a feeling some of you guys are coming over here, and that's okay. Anyway, I went about my business today. I went to Louisville. I bought an awesome 1983 Colt AR-15. Brand new in the box, never fired. It's a 40-year-old museum piece, a pre-banned AR-15 with the box, the paperwork, the little parts that come with it, the cleaning kit, 5 Colt magazines, and a scope, a Colt scope. The scope alone, I looked it up, it's worth some money. The bayonet that goes to it, and pretty good find, and I'm pretty excited about that. And what am I saying? I went about my business. I went about my day today like I normally would, and quite honestly, I didn't think too much about it. Of course, when I left the house here, the 10 o'clock hour had expired. It had passed, but it was still possible that 11 o'clock was the time central because of we've messed with the clock. We messed with daylight savings time. And so was it really 10 o'clock? You see what I'm saying? So 11 o'clock would have been my second guess, which would have been 7 o'clock in Israel, 7 p.m. because of, everyone practices this silly daylight savings time, and we don't, who knows which hour is the right hour biblically. And let's see, Esther says, hey, Brother Goodwin, sorry I'm watching you and Brother Spencer. You mean Brother Spencer's on the same time as me? Somebody call that guy and tell him that Dan Goodwin's on and he needs to get off the air while I'm on. And anyway, how are you watching two of us at the same time? Are you going back and forth, or you got two devices set up? That's funny. That's funny. Let's see. Did you take into account the 30, 45 days talked about? That's in Daniel chapter 12, and that's for another day. I'll talk about those days another time. I am convinced the 2520 is the right number for the length of the tribulation. There's just too many passages in the Bible that talk about that. The 42 months and 42 months, the two halves, 1260 and 1260. I have shared my thoughts on the extra 45 days and all that from Daniel 12. We have taught on that in the past. Maybe I'll share that again sometime. But Smile says, I thought the Feast of Trumpets passed already. It did pass. But the Feast of Trumpets on the Jewish calendar, I don't believe is trustworthy because they are not, Alana keeps bugging me about doing my teaching about Stephen in Acts chapter 7. We'll get to that one of these days. And anyway, the Jews are not operating their calendar properly. They're operating their calendar computerized. It's done mathematically. In Bible days, that's not how it was done. In Bible days, it was the barley harvest that reset their calendar every 2 or 3 years or 4 years, depending on the weather and all that. They're not going by the barley harvest now. They're going mechanically, and that's why I say that this could be all off, and that the Feast of Trumpets could, in fact, be a different month than the month on their calendar. And Van says, I think tomorrow is still a possible day for the rapture. I'm with you, Van. I'm with you 1,000%. And I doubt any of us are going to be upset. Hey, Lord, what's the meaning of this? You were supposed to, I was expecting you yesterday. I don't think anybody's going to say that at the rapture. Lord, I was expecting you yesterday. What took you so long? What's going on? I want to talk to the management. I don't think anyone's going to be upset if he comes tomorrow instead of today. And Van is talking about the 2 days that the Jews talk about for the Feast of Trumpets. I've got mixed thoughts on that, but we won't bother sharing those tonight. I have heard, and I've even shared some of that before. I'm not sure that I buy it anymore, but that's for another day. I'll get sidetracked if I start talking about my thoughts on the 2-day window for the Feast of Trumpets. All right, so but it's possible. I'm not saying it's not, and I'm all for it. If the rapture comes tomorrow, hey, we'll all high five each other in heaven, and that's okay. And Scooter says he switched over from Spencer Smith. Oh my goodness, someone's gonna get in trouble here. Spencer, I'm liable to get some hate mail or something. I don't know what DST is. Oh, daylight savings time. Silly is right, yeah. I like that old proverb I saw a meme about the Indians. And they said only a white man would think that he could take a piece of cloth off the left of a blanket and put it on the right side of the blanket and think that he made a bigger blanket. Only a white man could do that, the Indians said. I thought that was funny. Let's see. Dylan says, I'm available for a rapture departure tomorrow. All righty, I am. Remember, it's Israel time. So it would be the same time tomorrow, 10, 11 o'clock, 12, depending on what time zone you're in. And daylight savings time, remember. We could be off an hour. All right. And let's see, even so come Lord Jesus. Levi talks. I guess that's his handle. I can't wait until the rapture. We are very close. We are, but remember now, don't go overboard on this. Of course, it's the blessed hope, man. We ought to be excited about it. We ought to be desirous of it. But remember, we've got something to do down here, and I went about my business today, and we've got something to do. We're not supposed to be sitting around just hoping for the rapture, right? And I realize you guys aren't doing that. I know. Maybe you were today, and that's okay. You can get by with today, but we got something to do. We've got to reach people. We're here to be ambassadors for Jesus Christ. You're an ambassador of his. You're a representative of heaven. Let's do our job down here. And when he comes, he comes. Kippy says, looks like Jesus is going to surprise us. Let's get some more folks saved. Alana says, personally, I don't think there's enough chaos in the world yet. Well, Miss Alana, let's get some chaos out there in Iowa. Let's see if somebody could cause some problems out there in Council Bluff area, and to make you happy that because there's not enough chaos yet. Let's see. Van says, pray for the students in my class that God opens their eyes to the gospel. All righty. Van is up in Pennsylvania. Almost got to meet Van recently. When we drove to Maine in August, we almost got to meet up with him and meet him, but it didn't happen. But maybe one day, or maybe in the air. And got 80 people over here on YouTube. We got 20 over here on Facebook Live. So let me read a passage for you, and I won't keep you long tonight. I'm in Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and chapter 5, but chapter 4 says in verse 16, you know these verses by heart, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain. Remember, I said yesterday, and I've said this many times, the rapture is not about us. We think it is, but it's not. The rapture is a bodily resurrection of the saints who have died. But since you and I haven't died yet, and we're still in our body, he's coming for our body too. But we're still in it, and we haven't died, so we go spirit, soul, and body all at one time, where the dead in Christ, their spirit and their soul is already with the Lord. To be absent from the bodies, be present with the Lord. He's coming for their body. It's a bodily resurrection. And since we're still in our body, it just so happens the dead rise first, but then we're caught up because we're in that body, and he's coming for our body. Okay? Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain, in other words, we haven't died yet, that's us, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. That's the rapture. That's Christ coming for his bride. Wherefore, verse 18, comfort one another with these words. This hope, this blessed hope, this rapture is to bring comfort to the believer. No matter how bad things are getting around us, we have this blessed hope. We have this comfort. Now let me ask you a question. If this is talking about a post-trib rapture after the tribulation period, what kind of comfort would that bring you? Nothing. There's no comfort there. What difference would that make if he comes at the end? It's over anyway. It's the end. He's coming to set up the kingdom. How is it comforting that we get raptured at the end of that terrible time, the worst time in the history of the world is going to take place, and you think you're going to live through it as a post-tribber? Where's the comfort in that? The mark of the beast is coming. He's gonna kill us all. Where's the comfort in that? What's the blessed hope about that? There's none. The blessed hope is the glorious appearing of Christ coming in the clouds to get his bride and take us to the marriage supper and the ceremony. And that is the blessed hope. We're going to be snatched away. Now, turn to page, chapter 5. Here's what I really wanted to share with you tonight real quickly. Now, when you look at the Jewish wedding and the young man coming for his bride, the shout is made at the door before he goes in. Just for modesty's sake. You don't just walk into somebody's house, especially a young lady. There's a shout. And by the way, you're not alone. You got your groomsmen there. You would never, never, never be alone. I don't care what Hollywood movies show. You would never be alone with a lady who is not your wife. You wouldn't do it. He would have his groomsmen there. The father has said, go get her, son. We'll be ready when you get back. And a shout is made at the door. She hears that shout, gets her robe on, grabs her bags, heads down the stairs, and he's going to carry her over the threshold and take her to the father's house. Not his house. They're not married yet. The father's house. We're going to the father's house. In my father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go, I will come again and receive you unto myself. John 14. And so, chapter 5. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Now, chapter 5 is taking off right at the end of what we just read. Comfort one another. The Lord himself shall descend from heaven, the rapture. And he said, the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. You know this already, Paul is saying. For yourselves know that perfectly the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. A thief in the night. But, he's not coming as a thief to you and to me. He's coming as a thief to your neighbor, your unsaved neighbor. And I tell this all the time. One day your neighbor's going to get up and he's going to go out and get his paper off the porch. He's going to look over at the preacher's house and he's going to say, oh, the paper's still on the porch. Pastor Brown overslept. He didn't get up. He doesn't realize Pastor Brown left early in the late night hour. The trumpet sounded and he went to heaven, but Mr. Neighbor doesn't know it. See, he comes as a thief to your neighbor, to the world. It's not come as a thief to you and me, my friend. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, Look at verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night and they that are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and helmet the hope of salvation. For God has not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by the Lord Jesus Christ. This is all in the context of the rapture. God hasn't appointed us to wrath. The tribulation period, the 70th week of Daniel, is wrath. And we will not and cannot be here for that. How old will we be in heaven, Esther wants to know. I believe we will be our mature age, probably 30. I believe that that's kind of the age that our body will be. But, nobody knows 100% for sure about some of these things. But that appears very probable. So he's look what it says here. You're not in darkness, verse 4, that that day should overtake you as a thief. See, we're not going to be caught off guard. We're not supposed to be. We're supposed to know that the time is at hand. We may not know the exact day. We may not know the exact month. And possibly, maybe we can't figure this out down to a year. But it sure looks like we're getting close to the end of time here. God will not be late for the Sabbath. Remember, we talked about that, the kingdom age. This thing's all got to fit, and it will all fit because prophecy is history told in advance. In God's mind, it already happened. He saw it, and it can't be changed. So he's coming, as Alana said a few minutes ago, he's coming at the day appointed. It's already decided. So is it still possible that it could be this year? Absolutely. He could come tonight. We could be wrong on some of this stuff. He could come tonight. I know one thing, when the rapture happens and we're in heaven and we're looking at each other and we have better understanding now because we're now in our glorified body, I think we're going to look at each other and say, oh, of course this was the day. Why didn't I see it? And of course, we may say, hey, Fred said it was going to be this. Fred had this figured out. Or maybe Dan Goodwin had it figured out. I don't know. Smile, we did do a video together in the past, and we have another one that we did. I don't think he has aired it yet. I'm not sure when he's going to play it, but he and I did a video together not too long ago, and I'm going to try to get him together on our TV show again sometime in the future. And anyway, I got a lot of friends over there. Brother Jordan's the pastor. I talked to him on the phone today, and it's a great church, great ministry they've got over there. And Brother Spencer's just one part of that. And they got a great thing going over there. It's a great church and a good spirit there. Some good people. And and let's see, what do we got over here? All right, so listen, don't lose heart. I didn't miss a beat today. After 10 o'clock, okay, he didn't come. It's all right. We got more time to serve God. We got more time to. Hey, we're going on pray.com Wednesday. 2 days from right now, we're going to be on pray.com. Hopefully, tens of thousands of people will watch it. Hey, pray about that. I just ran an ad on Facebook. Pray about that. And I want you to watch if you can. Pray.com is an app for your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever. It's an app. There's a free app. There's also a paid version of it. And we are going to be on the live TV on the app at 8:30 Eastern Time, Wednesday night. We're actually playing the show that's going to air this Friday on YouTube, or on CTN, I should say. CTN and VTN in Arkansas. CTN nationwide is going to air Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, but it's going to be on pray.com this Wednesday. Okay, and I'm anxious to see how many people are watching when it comes on. And that's why we did the little challenge of $1,000. Doc and I put up $1,000, and we asked for 10 people to match us, because to be quite honest, we were burdened about CTN. We were going to drop CTN. I already turned my notice in because there was no way I could juggle both of them. It's a lot of money. Pray.com is just as much as CTN. I mean, it's over $1,000 a week. It's a lot of money. And we've been handling CTN all this time and VTN in Arkansas, and barely making it. And here I doubled it. I took on this. So we were going to leave CTN and try to keep Pray.com going, and just got burdened about it. It just seems like CTN audience has grown the last few months, and they have. So has the YouTube, by the way. It just seems like it's growing. And donations were coming in, and people calling and saying, look, if you leave CTN, I won't be able to watch you, and I don't have internet, or this and that. And of course, we've got ways to help people. We're willing to do DVDs, send people DVDs of the show for just a small, donation to help pay the shipping and all that. And we don't want to lose anybody. But we got burned about this. And I said, boy, if we could keep them both, I would love it. And add the other one to CTN and grow this thing and get our message out there. And on the way to the studio, it just came to me. I said, why don't I challenge the people just like they do in them radio marathons? You ever been on one of them? I've been on some of those. And someone will say, I'm gonna put up $100. How many will join me? Call in right now and match my $100. So I was gonna do 500. I said, we need some big money. So we put up 1,000, and I said, I'm looking for 10 people to take the challenge and send us $1,000 to help us get over the hump here and keep CTN until we find out what happens on Pray.com. And it started coming in. And by the way, we've got over 10 now have come in, and more are coming. There's another check coming in a few days, somebody told me. So this is tremendous. So this gets the heat off for a little while. I've got extra money that we can keep CTN while we see what happens with Pray.com. So pray about this. Pray about, and by the way, if you haven't given yet and you would like to be one of them 10, you could be maybe one of the 12 or the 14 now, but we could still use some more of you to become $1,000 a year. I'm talking about a one-time thing now, and we could still use this. Go to the website. There's donate buttons there, or contact me. Tell me, hey, I want to give. We'll get a hold of you and we'll help you with that. We'll help get you money. And of course, Doc and I get no salary. All the money that comes in goes towards getting us out there. And someday maybe we'll get a salary, but that day is not now. And I have a feeling if more money comes in, we'll take on another network. I'd love to get on Daystar or TCT but let's see. Pray.com has 15 million subscribers. It's growing. I mean, they're in like the top 3 of some of the world's biggest internet things, and it's amazing what's happening there. So we're going to see what the Lord does. And Esther, if you will send me well, this is YouTube. Can you get to my website, Esther, Prostinespoli.com. You can call the 800 number there. You can email us. And if need be, I'd be glad to call you back and see if there's anything I can do. I'll tell you what I tell people about family members. Sometimes you got to get an outsider involved, somebody who's not family, to come in and try to arrange a way for them to be able to talk to your loved one. There's just something about that. Sometimes a family member just can't get that door open, and somebody else can get that door open and talk to your loved one. I really believe that's what I would do. We got Sophiana from New Hampshire, and we just drove through New Hampshire. Went to Maine, and went August, and went again last week, and got back. We drive around Massachusetts and Connecticut now. We go up through Vermont. Let's see. And while yet still today, praise God, I did remember to pray for traveling mercies for Brother Dan. I wouldn't likely have forgotten, but a relative with first name Dan was also traveling, so that served as a reminder. Okay. So Esther, if you still if you'd like to talk to me, that's you can go to my website. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us from there. The 800 number's there. I think I think my email is there. I think my cell phone is also there. I talked to a guy today for quite a while who listened to yesterday's program for the first time, and he's been kind about it, but he was trying to correct me, and we talked for quite a while, and I believe I corrected him. Did he buy into everything I said? I don't know. At least maybe he'll think about it. But anyway, yeah, send me an email, Esther, and one of my emails is dgoodwin@uplink.net. That one comes right to me. But I've got like 3 different emails, and the prophecy one goes to my wife. Opens that. I don't even see that one unless she sends it to me. But all right, well, I think we ought to shut her down here. The Lord could come at any time. He could come tonight. He could come tomorrow. He could come next year, and that's fine. Listen, let's live for Him. Let's watch and wait. Let's keep looking and keep our eyes on them skies, right? And because He's coming, and He's coming soon. And okay, so I will make sure you share this. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe. And we're still working on technical things here. I like this much better, but I don't like the vertical thing. But my phone told me that it's better to keep it vertical, and I don't know why. I don't like it that way. But I may try a sideways one, horizontal, and see if it works okay. I don't know. But there's other ways I can do this. I need a camera for the office here that I can use and plug it into my computer and use the camera of the camera for the video instead of the junk camera that's in this that is terrible. And so we had to buy another camera for the studio. I thought I could use the extra one, but the reason we did is it fell and broke the HDMI thing. And I need the HDMI port to get to my computer, so I can't use that one. The only way I can use that one is to record to an SD card. But that means you can't do live. That's recorded. So anyway, we're learning as we go here, and boy, over 6,000 people watched last night's video. That's amazing. And there's going to be quite a few tonight too, because we had over 80 or 90 people watching just a little bit ago. Some of them have left, I think, because they know we're winding this down. So, all right, we'll talk to you all later, and God bless, and keep your eyes on them skies, whatever you do. Now, how do I end this? How do I end this on the phone? My goodness, I don't know. Might have to stay here forever. I'll look better after the Rapture band says. Hey, how do I shut this off? I don't see I don't see an end video button. Somebody help me out here. This is crazy. Live. How do I get out of here? Can somebody help me? What's this here do? No, I can cancel the microphone. I can, my goodness. And if I just X out, are we going to lose it? Now Esther's laughing at me. How do I shut the thing off? See, when I'm on the computer, I hit the end, there's an end button. And then it says, are you sure you want to leave? And you got to hit it again. I don't see that here. Now let's see. There's got to be something that I'm just missing here. What is it? Somebody call Spencer Smith. Anybody listening right now knows how to get off YouTube Live, how to end this thing on my phone? Turn power off. This is now a reality show. How do I get out of here? Somebody bring the hook and yank me off the stage here, or trap door. There's an X up there. I can hit that X, but I'm worried. What is that gonna? Let's see. I can't hit the plus. No. I'm going to hit the X and see what happens. Anybody over on Facebook? All right, Rick. All right. Something. Would you hit the live button again to stop it? Well, the live button's in red up there. That doesn't. I can't. That does nothing. I can't click on that. Anything else? There's an X up there. I can hit the X and see what that does. There's no finish or end button anywhere. Let me get rid of the live chat. Let's see. Let me, hit the X, I think. All right, Lewis is saying hit the X. Thank you. All right, let's try that. Shoot it with the AR-15. No, it's unfired. I can't shoot that AR-15. It'd lose value. It's never been fired in 40 years. Okay, hit the X, it says. Let's try it. Yes, that's it. Are you sure you want to